Hey, what's up guys, Wintergar here and welcome to episode 5 of Battlefield BiteSize. Today's footage was brought to you by Charboy HD, so make sure to check out his channel in the description below. So then, on to today's episode, we'll be talking about Suppression in Battlefield 4. For any of you guys unfamiliar with what Suppression is, basically when you're fired upon by an enemy you'll be suppressed. This means that your weapon will become less accurate over range, and also you'll get random bullet deviation when you fire. The whole point of this being random bullet deviation had a huge conflict with the competitive community in Battlefield 3, because obviously any competitive game type can't have random factors. For example, if me and another player look at each other with exactly the same gun, and we both press fire at exactly the same time, and he only kills me because random bullet deviation happened to go his way and he managed to get one of his bullets to actually go onto my head instead of missing, then again, which is not completely controlled by the player, this causes a huge disconnection from the player and the weapon you're using. Suppression has its uses, however, obviously, because if you want to move up behind cover or there's a lot of people laying down fire, for example around a corner, and they have a huge advantage in that you have to step out. If you're able to suppress them first, it makes their accuracy a lot lower over range, so people can't just pin you down from absolutely miles away. So the differences between Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4 in terms of suppression is that in Battlefield 4, the suppression will basically work only on higher caliber weapons, for example the light machine guns, 50 caliber mounted machine guns, and also I believe sniper rifles. This basically makes it so that assault classes, for example with assault weapons and that sort of stuff, can't suppress anywhere near as much, which is a lot better really, because it makes the suppression based weapons actually used for suppression and not just using any gun to get the same amount of suppression. In Battlefield 4, suppression basically makes your weapon suffer at longer ranges, so if you're trying to shoot someone really far away and you get suppressed, it becomes a lot harder to hit them. However, at close to medium ranges, if you get suppressed, you won't notice this anywhere near as much. For me, this is awesome news for Battlefield 4. It means that basically you'll have a lot more accuracy, you'll still retain that accuracy at close to medium ranges, and you won't basically turn into a complete bag of poop when you're trying to kill people and you happen to get one bullet go past your head somewhere. The ideal solution for suppression would be to make it a server option. For example, if I own my own server, why the hell can't I just turn suppression off if I want to play Battlefield like it used to be like? Through the server filters, people would be able to search for servers that either have suppression turned on or suppression turned off, as well as some other features such as being able to modify the player's health or the amount of damage that players take. Every huge competitive first-person shooter that I know of has a lot of these type of features, and they also bring in professional players into the game to review the game and say how they think it will hold out in competitive, or things that they really need in for help with basically balancing weapons. An example of this is Halo. They brought in a load of competitive players for Halo's huge competitive scene, and also Call of Duty did this as well to get feedback on how the game should work for competitive. So if DICE were to basically build a competitive scene, they need to allow players to be the deciders on how the game should be played. And what I mean is by mass vote on the professional side. All of the professional tournaments could have their own rules which are enforced, and obviously you'll know which one's the best because the one that grows the most is the most popular opinion. DICE can't really build it how they want it in a competitive sense, because competition isn't decided by obviously the developers. It's often built upon by the players and the community and all of the clans that basically make the game. For me, this is something that I feel very strongly about. I believe that there should be a competitive scene for Battlefield 4. However, there are some key requirements that are needed to create this Battlefield 4 competitive scene and to basically nurture it and allow the players to choose how the game progresses in terms of competitive, to get feedback from the players, that sort of stuff, and also give us the options to create our own competitive communities with our own set of rules in the game. So hopefully Battlefield really pick up on this. Otherwise, honestly, the competitive scene is going to be like Battlefield 3. There's going to be a few competitive scenes, but they're not going to be nowhere near as huge as other games. Obviously, I have to mention them. Call of Duty has a huge competitive scene. Also, Halo has a huge competitive scene. The main thing with these games is that they've allowed players to take out some of the random factors. For example, COD takes out kill streaks. Halo brings in players, like I've already said, and has them review the competitive, review the game and say how they think it will hold out in terms of competitive. Yeah, that's basically it from me today. Obviously, this has been a huge rant from me. If you guys agree with any of these, or if you have your own opinion, make sure to drop it below in the comments. I do reply to basically everybody that drops some feedback. Thanks a lot for watching, and thanks to Charboy HD for the footage. Make sure to check out his channel in the description below. That's basically it for this episode of Battlefield BiteSize. Make sure to tune in next time and let me know what you guys would like to see me talk about. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you guys next time.